to the Claggett residence. Please enjoy while I prepare some libations.
Oh,
So
wow,
Tawnie,
this
I'm
is
so
gorgeous.
excited to share this house with you. So this was designed by Lillian Rice. And Lillian Rice was kind of the architect for the whole Covenant, like the Inn at Rancho Santa Fe, all the shops that you see, the row homes that you see. She designed about 60 homes throughout her kind of era in Rancho Santa Fe. And I think she was so significant because she had such an influence on the architecture still today. And 100 years later, it's a century
She's probably
later.
one of the most famous architects.
So what's awesome is she really had some architectural details that she favored in the residences that she designed.
Yeah,
For example,
so what are those details?
she loved pagoda windows. What's interesting is we drove up in a pagoda 1970
right,
Mercedes,
yes.
which was influenced, or kind of like a little bit Asian influenced, and she did, and even though she was designing Mediterranean and Spanish homes, she always put a little bit of Asian influence into the homes.
I love that.
And so like over there you'll see the windows, and you'll see how they kind of swoop up and then fit into the architecture.
I mean, this house is so unique in itself, and these beams are incredible.
That was really one of her signature items in the way she designed architecture. And she would have mills here. Like there were people that would come here just to cut all this wood and to mill it for these homes. So like it was a very significant thing that this was happening in this kind of neck of the woods in the 1920s. And for Lillian Rice to be respected as an architect, being a woman in the 1920s, kind of in the outskirts of any major city, is really phenomenal. I mean, most of the architecture that was or notable architecture was in New York City, San Francisco, Chicago, maybe even in Miami, but it wasn't in Rancho Santa Fe. Nobody even knew where Rancho Santa Fe was at that time.
One of the most sought after places to live in all of the world.
Well, it is. And so she really influenced architecture for the past century in this part of California. And so it's long lasting, and her homes are almost like collector items. Like this house is super sought after. The Claggett family came from Chicago. He was a wealthy financier, and he brought his wife and his daughter here so they didn't have to live the harsh winters in Chicago. So it's pretty awesome that like even families from back then, they had to take the railroad to get here. There weren't ways to get here. There weren't airplanes. Right. They didn't drive cars for 10 miles an hour like in their Model Ts and Model A's.
Yeah.
So this was significant when the wealthy families would come out to Rancho Santa Fe to escape either hot weather in Arizona or say bad weather in Chicago or New York or other major cities.
Because we have that perfect Mediterranean climate right here in Rancho Santa Fe.
We do. And like, just think about it even today, when you sit at the lawn at the Inn at Rancho Santa Fe that she designed, like, it's just so beautiful and grand, and
really is.
it's like held the test of time or lasted the test of time, which I think it's really special what she created.
And I think you said it best when you said it feels like a collector's item. It's one of a kind, but just this labor of love.
Well, when you think about it, we're in a house with beautiful artwork everywhere, beautiful sculptures and art, but this house itself is a piece of art. I mean, it can't be duplicated. No one could build this house today the way it is. So literally, it is a piece of art. And that's why it's on the historic tour every single year. Like, people die to get to see this. I drove by this house for 25 years in a row. And then when I pulled up and realized this is the house I got to go see and meet the owner, I was blown away. I was like in awe.
Well, I can't wait to see the rest of the house.
And there's a lot to see.
I feel incredibly blessed to even be on this tour with you. So let's go check out the rest.
Follow me.
Wow, Sean, I love how these archways just open every room.
They are everywhere. That's really significant also about Lillian Rice. She has extensive beams. One of the things you're going to notice is like the lighting in here. Like, these were all designed by Lillian. Like the fireplace tiles.
Wow.
Like
so not just the house, but the details within it.
All the details inside. Like, she took care of everything. She was almost like a female version of Frank Lloyd Wright, where he was kind of similar to that. He would try to control everything in the complete environment. And she did the same, but she did it a little bit more organically. Like, it fit into the topography. Like, you can tell we're on this like perched 2-acre hillside right here, but you look at all these, there's balconies everywhere, looking over the canyons and the palm trees. And there's a guest house back there, there's a 4-car garage. You could have a tennis court down on the hillside, so it's really an estate.
Okay, now this is my favorite room.
So far, so good, right?
Yes.
So I have another surprise for you, because there's a really interesting room right around the corner.
Okay, I'm all about the
Follow
surprises. gosh, how cool.
This literally is every girl's dream.
It sure is.
So-
Looks like a humongous closet.
So this was the nursery once upon a time, and then her kids were all grown, so she turned it into her racetrack accessory room. So these are all hats that she wears to the races. She owned race horses, and so she loves to still go and goes all the time. So literally, this is like the fancy room for hats, purses, shoes, all that.
This is amazing. I love what she did with the place.
Yes.
And you know me, I love horses, I love the races. So this is so fitting. I mean, the whole Rancho Santa Fe lifestyle too.
Well, what's really significant, another thing about Lillian Rice is she designed the home for Bing Crosby, his estate here. And Bing Crosby was actually one of the founders or responsible for bringing the Del Mar racetrack to San Diego. So there's such an integrated history with the architecture, with the celebrities, with like the whole lifestyle of equestrian, because we still have racing season going on right now, polo season starting up again in a couple weeks. We have a lot of things happening.
And you're so central. This
are.
is the house to be in.
We can walk up right up to the street, go to the inn. Right down the street from there, there's the club, there's the tennis club, there's the golf club. Like everything is all right here.
Okay, I'm ready to move.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working up a thirst though, with
Well,
all this house.
I think our friend downstairs has something for us.
Okay, let's
Follow
go
me.
do this.
What I love about this backyard is like we're on this beautiful canyon. All the houses are so far away. It's super private back here. I mean, this house is like 4,500 square feet. You could have 4 bedrooms. It's segregated a little bit differently right now because there's library rooms and formal dining. There's maid's quarters. There's like a playroom. There's nanny rooms. Like it's really quite amazing property.
And a fresh lemon tree.
From the property, doesn't anybody love a martini with a fresh lemon?
So I do have to ask every time I see you, how's Cambridge 6 coming along?
It's great. So we have 2 in escrow. We have 4 left. We might be putting another one in escrow today.
Congratulations.
And so, thank you. And then those are going to be ready November, December, beginning of January. And then there's still time to pick finishes. So, and then we have this beautiful Santa Barbara style villa on Montgomery. And that one is a little over 2,000 square feet and is magnificent. Like you see the ocean from all through the trees, all the way to La Jolla. And then, of course, we have the house on Neptune.
Yes.
And that one, unbelievable. Stairs down to the beach, like 4-car garage. It is magnificent. Like there's no replacement for that property.
Let's cheers to you and
Okay,
taking me
cheers to
around
you.
this beautiful home.
Yep,
And then I think we should walk up to the village.
let's go.
Well, we're not leaving. We got to drink these.
Oh.
Tucked away in a corner of Del Mar is a seafood bistro located just 1 block from the beach. And what makes this restaurant unique is that it specializes in more than the food on its menu. So Salvatore, can you just kind of give us a little bit of your background? I know that you're from Italy and you were near the ocean there, so now you've somehow made it to a different ocean here in San Diego.
Yes, I left actually a beautiful island 40 years ago. Almost, that's when I came to the States, and I've been a restaurateur. Started my way on the island of Bermuda. Then I moved to New York. I was a manager of a very infamous, should I say, restaurant called Mezzaluna. Then I moved to Hong Kong, and then I landed to San Diego, where I opened several restaurants. And my goal was to get back close to the ocean.
Yep. Well, looks like your goal came true.
That's quite a trip
Exactly.
to get here, isn't it?
I don't know if it is my final destination.
Well,
I'm
for
looking
now
at the
it
map.
is.
I'm looking at the map.
And aren't we so lucky that at least your destination right now is here?
Absolutely.
Because this food looks incredible. I know you've got fantastic wines as well. So can you just kind of talk a little bit about Seasalt and how it's been a little bit different than
Sure.
some of your other restaurants?
Yeah, well, yes, I love seafood. And since I'm from Capri, you know, what is one of the best dishes you can have in Capri? It's seafood. So I want to bring here in this area, close to the ocean, something that I think meant to do. But it's not only about seafood. What I do here, I have several other options as far as meats and gluten-free or vegetarian. As you can see, we have the baby artichokes, which is, by the way, the top seller here at Seasalt. And among all these food, I do a lot of things here. I do wine dinners every month, and I have an amenity here to have private events, because I do have a private patio, I have a private room. So for all needs, I am here for the community, which I've been serving for the last 18 years since I own a restaurant in the area as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to those, the wine tasting soon, but you mentioned community. And Lisa, I know that you're very well versed in this entire community that we're in. So what's kind of happening here? And I know the beach is so close, so it must be very desirable.
It is extremely desirable. People love being in this area. We're out here in Del Mar, but we have got Torrey Pines right in the background here. And it really, really is such a great place to live. It's not just, you know, your older folks, as some people think it might be, but there's a lot of families, there's a lot of young professionals, there's a lot of people that really enjoy this area. And one of the things, of course, that they enjoy most is these great, you know, family-owned or privately owned restaurants. You don't see a lot of chains out here. It's this stuff like Seasalt that we're at now that really drives people to come, and whether they live here or not, to be, you know, enjoy the area.
A little authentic taste
Yeah,
of the area.
absolutely.
So as far as the market, I know as we kind of shift towards the back half of the year, things might get a little bit crazy because kids go back to school, and then it seems like all of a sudden we'll be in the holidays. So
Yeah, it's coming fast.
what do you kind of expect to see this time of year?
You know, it's funny. I was looking at our business and our numbers, and just traditionally, it's interesting. October is actually our highest closing month of the year. So people tend to think summertime is the time that people buy and sell real estate. It's actually coming up now.
Okay.
I think it's because of the weather in San Diego. People just, you know, they're not afraid to, you're not going to get bad weather and have to look at homes in snow, for instance. That doesn't happen here. Right. So the summer actually isn't quite as good here as it could be, or as it is in other areas. So the fall is really going to pick up. I see a lot more inventory coming on. Interest rates are still great. Buyers are doing what they do and really getting into the market. It's a great time.
And so if sellers kind of feel like they want to get their house on the market, but maybe they know like the back half of the year gets a little crazy, when should they put it on?
You know, soon. I would say September, October. Like I said, you'd be surprised how much business happens in those latter, half of the year.
Sure. So you're about to get really busy.
Yeah, we already are. Yeah, we already are. So I'm always busy, you know, but no, we already are. Just this year, we put in just this week, rather, we put in 3 new listings.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And
So
yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. Well, Salvatore, I want to come back around to the wine pairing and tasting you have. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, I started the wine pairing dinners a few years ago. Now I'm doing those every month, and are a sold-out event. And if you don't make a reservation, you don't have a seat. Remember, you told me you want to come.
Yes.
I'll stand. They look so good.
Yeah. And so there's a menu that goes with this that is paired specifically for the wine that you have.
Yes, there is a lot of work behind this. First, I need to choose which winery I will represent. Then is a communication with the chef, creating the menu in a proper time, because this needs to be advertised way ahead. And as you know, as the end of the year is coming up, I have a 5 wine dinner coming up. And also, I have to tell you, I was able to provide a 5 menu until the end of the year. It was a lot of work, but you know how the people are in this area. They make plans. If you don't make plans, you don't get a seat here.
That's true. And it looks beautiful. I can tell you by looking at the options here, there's a lot of beautiful wineries. And I think this happens right out here on this patio, right?
That's correct.
Excellent.
Yes.
And so you get the view as well. And the other thing, I hear there's brunch.
Yes, we do.
On weekends, right? Right here on this patio?
That's correct. We do a brunch on Saturday and Sunday. It's more, I would say, famous brunch on Sundays, because the American way is brunch is a Sunday. We start at 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and we do the offer of bottomless mimosa for $12. I complement the champagne, I should say, with a beautiful menu for brunch. Perfect. So with a beautiful view, it's a nice time to relax and enjoying the view of the lagoon behind us.
Sounds amazing.
So beautiful. So no matter what time of day or what day of the week it falls on, it's always a good time to come here at
There is
Seasalt.
always something to do at Seasalt.
Yes. Thank you so much, Salvatore, for bringing us here. Thank you, Lisa. I'm so
Absolutely.
glad that we got to come here. Absolutely brilliant place.
Thank you.
Thank you.